You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's Gear Abby, Gear Abby, advice that doesn't suck. Gear Abby.
Hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to Gear Abby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm Shawnté Salabert, an outdoor educator, writer, former school social worker, and president of the Yellow-Bellied Marmot fan club, who's hiked, run, climbed, paddled, and adventured across the United States and beyond. And here on Gear Abby, I channel all that experience and more into answering your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes. Because remember, my outdoor-loving pals, marmots included, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. You know how this works. I know how this works. You're going to send questions to deargearabby@gmail.com, and I shall sort through and pick my favorites, which, as of now, is pretty much all of them, and I'm going to answer them here on the show. And as always, joining me today, we've got my partner in gear, that's PIG, for those of you who maybe skipped ahead and missed the first episode, my favorite pig, the producer of Gear Abby, and a man who really helped solidify that this podcast deserves its E for explicit rating, Colin True.
10 episodes?
10.
Double digits.
Yeah, you keep showing up. I keep showing up.
I know.
It's weird.
It's all right.
No, nobody's even paying. This isn't my job. Although I feel like if I just didn't show up one day, we would both be sad about it.
We would be.
We would.
Although I was going to have to comment that it was 10 episodes and the pig moniker hasn't stuck, but apparently it is going to continue to stick
if
with
I
you.
keep saying it, it will stick. I feel like all we need is one listener to write in, Dear Gear Abby and Pig.
No, don't listen to Gear Abby.
No, that's the whole point of the podcast. Listen to Gear Abby.
Well, about everything else but that.
Oh my gosh. Colin, we were joking earlier before we started recording the episode about how old we are. And I have to tell you today I found out that I have bursitis in my knee.
Oh,
We're
wow.
just adding, that's not like an old thing, but I'm just adding to the litany of issues with my body. But I was worried that the PT was going to be like, please stop doing all the things you love. And luckily I got someone who A, is a little older than me, and B, was like, oh no, you must keep doing the things you love. Otherwise your whole body is going to break down. So I was like, yes, sir. I shall do whatever weird band exercise you tell me to do.
In the spectrum of ailments, is bursitis the one thing that is not an STD that sounds the most like an STD?
It's
kind of on that spectrum,
It is on
isn't
the
it?
spectrum of, is it an STD? Is it the name of a medication? You don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
Oh, don't talk to her. She gave me bursitis.
It was real. It's real hot. There's a lump now. Yeah. Painful to the touch, if you will. And I will. Actually, the PT did. I was like, ow, dude. Yeah, it's funny because I was going to tell you how, last week we had our little convo with Killian Journay. And the funny thing is, after I talked to Killian, we're chit-chatting. I was up. I know you've ripped on me for talking about the Sierra so much, but whatever. I love it.
No.
Okay. I love it, Colin.
I was channeling a listener when I sent you that email.
Colin sent me an email that was like, Dear Gear Abby, stop talking about the Sierra so much. You know what, Colin? I'm just digging from my experience. You know what? We're going to get some other experiences in here, okay?
We are. Yes.
So I'm telling Killian where I am, and he was like, it is so beautiful up there. I was like, yes, it is. And I said, I'm actually going to go on a run after we get off the phone, but I am not going to do any of the things you did in the mountains.
Correct.
And in fact, then I realized I forgot my running shoes. So I was all geared up. I was all the way up there. I was so stoked to do my first run in a while because of the bursitis. I was going to test it out. Forgot my running shoes. So I did have my Switchback Primal Zens, which you introduced me to, which I love. So not for running.
Wait, the Primal Zens or the Switchbacks?
No, the Lems Primal Zens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I use them as like a casual, like a walking shoe. But I had those, and then I have this purse that I got from Thacker, New York. They're this company that does like this really cool combo of outdoor stuff and like fashion. It feels very Japanese to me, but also very New York. And so I had like a sling from them, the cloud sling. So I'm like, all right, we're going to just go. I was trying to channel like less is more. So I was like, all right, we're going to go on a walk instead of a run. And honestly, like I chucked a whole Nalgene into that purse. I had some snacks, very important for me. I think it was Nerds Clusters because that's what all the kids are eating. And honestly, I had such a nice, I went up to a couple lakes. Like I didn't do anything hardcore. There was some very minimal scrambling involved, but it was a weird feeling for me, somebody who is preaching the gospel of the 10 essentials, to just kind of go out there and be a little more free with it. I liked it. I don't know if I should be admitting this.
I think you just lost some credibility points there, Gearabby. No, I think that's right. That's the way it should be. I like going out. Like, I agree. I mean, yes, is it a little more risky? I'm like, yeah, but 9.9 times out of 10, everything ends up working out just fine anyway. So to treat yourself to a little like lightweight adventure, I think that's a good thing.
All right. Well, I'm feeling pretty fresh today now that I've been physical therapied. My bursitis is in check. I'm completely healed. One session of
Do you know
PT.
who gave you the bursitis?
I think if we
Did
go
you make
back,
the phone call?
Yeah, it may have been. I might have given it to myself. Very cyclical. I think it's my own fault. But you know what? The people are not here to hear about my calamities in my life. Maybe they are. Honestly, I mean,
are.
Somebody asked me about my biggest
They're
sin.
invested.
They are invested. So
Yeah.
stay tuned when I go deeper into therapy and we get more into that. But for now, let's find out. What do you have for me? What's the first listener question?
All right, here we go. Dear Gearabby, I was just listening to the episode where you said spooky season was your favorite time of year, so it made me wonder, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you outside? Signed, Jess.
Well, I guess we're getting personal again, Jess.
Yeah, well, a lot of scary things out there.
There are really so many. I used to do a lot of presentations for my PCT guidebook, and every single time people would be like, what were you afraid of? And I could just give them a line list. But maybe the scariest thing I've ever done was consider going on a trail run in the Sierra right after talking with Killian Shawnté. I mean,
Or you felt like his judgment was just hanging over you the entire time?
no, I worried. I was like, will the power of Killian compel me? Like, will I suddenly be really good at this? Or no, as it turns out, no. I won't even remember my running shoes. So no, but this is Jess. I really like this question. You feel free to ask me most things, maybe not anything, but y'all can send in personal questions. I do have a lot of less than outdoorsy friends who assume that I must have nerves of steel because, of all the things I do. But there are plenty of things that freak me out. And this is where I'm going to say, Mom, if you're listening, earmuffs for the rest of this segment.
Yeah, Gear Mom.
Gear Mom.
Go do something else.
Yeah, I think it's...
The next 8 minutes.
Yeah, go watch some YouTube videos of organizing cupboards. It's like one of your favorite things. All right. I would say up until last summer, I would have actually said the scariest thing I've experienced outside was on the PCT when a mountain lion crossed my path.
Yeah, that's
right.
scary.
Like that's pretty far up there. And in hindsight, it's kind of cool. You're like, oh, hey, I got to see a mountain lion, but not.
I think probably scary in hindsight too, though. I would think.
Well,
right?
yeah. I mean, I could tell it wasn't hungry because it just sauntered. It was like kind of saucily sauntering past. It was like, look at me.
Like, could totally eat you right now.
If I wanted to, I am a powerful being, but I'm going to take my jaws elsewhere. You're not tasty enough is really what that was about, but that's fine.
I'll let the bear that's coming up behind me do it.
Oh, no, our bears are vegetarian. But anyway, well, so, okay, the thing that took the top spot on my personal, hierarchy of outdoor fears happened actually last summer, and it topped the mountain lion thing by like a mile. So I'm going to take you back to 2023, which was 2 summers ago. And that was the year we had just an absolutely bonkers snowfall here in California, and it really jacked up a lot of trail infrastructure. So you had avalanches in places that normally don't, have AVs. We had bridges get knocked out, including one along the PCT JMT corridor that's like a pretty important bridge over the South Fork San Joaquin River. And that bridge got twisted on its side. And if you were on the internet, on any of the Facebook groups or Reddit groups that year for the PCT or the JMT, you would see, it was mostly PCT hikers because at this point, they're, almost 900 miles in, they have no fear. But they're like Spider-Manning across this bridge that was completely twisted on its side.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that year I just skipped that section. But so this year, or last summer, I was out there and the bridge had been dismantled and taken. It was just laying in pieces on either side of the river. And I was in the Sierra pretty early. So it was like the very beginning of July. You've still got snow runoff happening, but it was an average snow year. So nothing too crazy. I'd been like monitoring reports. Everything looked pretty good. I'd say just a few days before getting to this spot, I finally felt like, all right, I think now is an okay time to cross. So I was with two other people. There was this woman, Token, who I'd met that's her trail name. I met her at VVR, and she was just doing a section, and she'd been thinking about this crossing since before even getting on trail because it was, people got swept away that summer.
Right.
Not good. And then I was with my friend MacGyver, my old PCT buddy, and I kind of felt...
Not Richard Dean Anderson.
Not sadly, no, because he probably could have made a bridge.
Okay. Right.
I mean...
Step up, MacGyver. Live up to your name.
You're right. I should have stripped him of his title in that moment.
Yeah, exactly. I assume also a trail name.
Yeah, that's true. Also a trail name. These people do have real human names. I just don't know if they want to be outed in my story.
That's cooler to use trail names.
Yeah. Thank you. It is.
Yeah.
Should I just call myself Rustic for this segment? That's my trail name is Rustic, which is a whole nother story.
That's not a very cool trail name.
What's your trail name? Colin? Pig? Is it Pig?
One. It will be now.
Anyway, so I felt kind of responsible for these two. I was like, all right, we're all in it together. I told Token the night before, I'm like, listen, I'll be there with you every step of the way. If it doesn't seem safe to cross, we'll backtrack. It's fine. So we get there. Mom, you better earmuffs. If you somehow snuck in and kept listening, this is the time to for sure dip out because I don't want you mad at me when I see you at Christmas.
Now I want her to be listening.
Yeah. So Hiker.
I've come around.
No.
Dear Mom, hang out.
Do not. I'm glad you don't have my mom's number. Do not text her. So yeah, like I said, hikers had been swept away multiple times that summer. Rangers had been posting notes like, please don't do this. And so, there is a certain point where the flow is low enough. So we get up there. I kind of, pull out my insoles, my socks, put my shoes on, tuck everything in my pack, which was as it turns out, a very good idea. Like, most things out of my fanny pack went in my pack. Mm-hmm. And the river had two channels. So I stepped into the first one. I'm kind of talking to it. I'm like, let's do this. I'm really grateful to be crossing all safely. And it's hitting like not knee high. That's my limit of what I'm comfortable with in an actual river. So I get to this channel in the middle. It's very calm. I have the two of them come over. And I step into the second channel and within like 10 seconds, the water was up to my thigh, then it was up to my crotch, then it was over my waist. Now I am jamming my trekking poles into the ground, like praying. And I am not a religious person, but I was praying in every kind of prayer I could think of just to make it across. And I forgot that I told Token, I have these little pink lines on my trekking poles that mark knee height. And I told her, don't worry, it won't go above that. And she's as soon as I saw it go over, I thought we were done for. I was like, whoops, sorry. But yeah, I eventually made it across. And then the issue was getting them across. I was completely freaked out, right? And to their credit, the two of them bonded together. They're like, we're going to do this together. I directed them upstream a bit. They got across. And I think my favorite thing that I will never, ever forget about this, besides all of us making it out alive, is Token gets to the other side and she just turns around and points at the river and as loud as she can scream, "Not today, Satan!" So yeah, I would say that river crossing was the scariest thing I've ever done in the outdoors, and I would never, ever, ever do something like that again. Like I've done tons of creek and river crossings, but it had rained. It had like stormed for 2 days prior, so the water level was higher than it had been the last time I heard reports of people crossing it. So it was just a mixture of bad luck and like maybe a little bit of bad judgment. But yeah, of course, a week after we crossed, Colin, the Forest Service, I think it was the Forest Service, replaced the bridge.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. I was like, come on, man, seriously?
Well, I just checked checked into it a little bit, and actually you're wrong. It's the mountain lion. Actually, is the scariest thing.
But the mountain lion didn't do anything except for look sultry.
Mountain lions are scary.
They are.
You don't know what they're going to do.
But you know what else is scary? Like 100 million.
Almost drowning.
Yeah, almost drowning, like 1,000 billion pounds cubic. I don't even know how you measure what the flow rate is of a river, but all of that just pushing against your body parts. Feeling the water pour into my shorts and into my fanny pack was wet for like 2 days after that. All my snacks got wet. Well, you know what? Safety first. I think that there is, as I was mentioning in the intro, like there's a time and place to kind of go a little lighter with everything. But I do think that it's a good idea to maybe mind our P's and Q's a little bit when mountain lions and rushing rivers and cliffs are involved.
This is why we go out there, man.
This is why we like it.
That's why we do
type
it.
17 fun.
I
know there's only 3 types of fun, but we take it to the next level and then 15 beyond.
Type 17 is the full Killian.
We're going full Killian here.
Going full Killian.
All right.
To him, it's just the kill. It's just like Saturday afternoon.
The full Killian. Yeah, the full Killian is something we cannot even, we don't even have a framework, a paradigm that we can assign in our own lives for what a full Killian would be. Oh man. All right. Well, we could riff on Killian forever, but I think the people are here to hear questions and answers. What you got next?
Oh, and they're going to want to hear your answer to this question.
Okay.
Dear Gear Abby, my partner and I have been day hiking for years. We usually do short hikes and really don't carry a lot of stuff. Oh, that's reminiscent of something you just said. Recently, we talked about spicing up a hike and maybe enjoying a little extracurricular activities out in the woods. Besides some basics getting far enough off trail, we aren't trying to make people watch, bringing something to possibly clean up with. Yeah, so, all right. And what other advice would you have? Specifically thinking of possible light and creative product ideas to make sure it's as comfortable as possible for the folks involved without trying to bring a bed along. Signed, Hikers with Benefits, ladies and gentlemen, episode 10. It took all of you this long for this kind of question. I'm a little surprised.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, we've talked horny salmon. Who could forget that? Mating tarantulas. But yeah, now we finally get to talk about frisky humans.
It's been too long.
It's been far too long. 10 episodes. You're right. Mom, if you have been defying me this entire time, just seriously earmuffs, like go do something else. I think I got you a puzzle at some point. Maybe you could go do a puzzle. Do some crafting.
How dare you suggest your mother isn't frisky herself?
I don't want to call it. I don't. We're drawing a hard line on this podcast.
This is kink shaming, and I won't have it on this podcast.
Damn it. Oh my God. All right. Whatever. Mom, don't listen. So benefits, you should listen. Everybody should listen. I am really glad that you mentioned, we'll just start with this, that whole idea of being mindful of others and getting far enough off trail, because one of the most uncomfortable experiences I've ever had outside was me. I was backpacking on a very popular trail with easy access to a bunch of lakes. So you get a lot of day hikers out there, a lot of people fishing, people out with their families. And I was maybe 2.5 miles in, and I'm coming around this very long lake, and there I discover a pair of people engaged in carnal pleasures in broad daylight, and not very quietly, I might add. I don't think they realized they were in sight of, like, completely fully in sight of the main trail, because they'd kind of gone behind this boulder situation, and I think they thought they'd be hidden, but their little trail that they took to get there just basically curved right back to the main trail. So you could see them as soon as you got around the rock, and there was a family not very far behind me. So I just kind of like made a like a throat clearing sound, like an awkward, like sex interrupting throat clearing sound. I was like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's a bunch of kids coming up right behind me. And all I heard after that was just this flurry of like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And just clothing.
Oh, they really thought that they were they had been so discreet. Like no one could know that. No one
could hear us or find us or see us 100 feet from the trail. Yeah. They weren't even far away. They were not even far away enough off the trail to take a poop. Like, that's how close they were.
All right, made it. How far are we in for the poop game?
I have to sneak it in.
No, but what's the approaching sound as you're approaching them and the sounds of human lovemaking versus the guy coming at you with the speaker blaring some sort of house music. Which what's worse?
100% the speaker.
Yeah, that's true. The people fucking in the woods, you're like, well, this is at least going to be a good story.
Like it is a, that's natural. There's not any amplified sounds at least coming out of it. Right. But if you have a speaker,
God damn you.
It's truly one of my least favorite things in the known universe. That and leaf blowers. It really exists on the same continuum.
Yes.
Oh man. All right. So benefits, choose your location wisely. Just this
Clearly.
This has to be said. Popular trails, front country campgrounds are not really the best locations to set up your personal den of iniquity. You do want to be far enough off the beaten track. I mean, preferably maybe your first time is on private land, like you get a little Airbnb camping, glamping situation. But you just don't want to force other people to have to hear or see what you're getting up to out there. And I really don't think most people realize just how far sound travels outside, especially when there's like, cliffs or rocks around. They just amplify everything. And tent walls are not made out of acoustic foam, as it turns out. So no. That goes for snoring as well, but that's why I bring earplugs. On that note, not to be a killjoy, but one other little bit of housekeeping here. In a lot of places, it's actually technically illegal to get busy outside due to, all those laws against public indecency, indecent exposure, lewd conduct. So be discreet as possible also for that reason. And if you're day hiking, this means that you're not just hiking far enough off trail to be truly alone, but maybe also wear some clothes that you don't have to fully take off to get to the good stuff. This is like maybe a dress situation or a kilt situation or, just something where you can sort of maneuver without being fully naked is probably one of the biggest things I would suggest.
There's a lot of common sense built into deargearabby's answer here. I just want to point out, if you need this explained to you, maybe just stick to the bedroom.
No, well, we're giving the benefit of the doubt here because I think the question isn't even about these basics because they've already considered it. Yeah. But I'm doing this for everybody else who's listening just in case.
Gotcha.
This is just it.
Okay.
I'm covering some ground here. So now we're going to start getting into the nitty gritty, which is comfort. So I think a lot of people have fantasies that adult play in the outdoors is this opportunity to kind of feel your most free. But honestly, it's more of a literal and figurative pain in the ass half the time. You're trying to avoid sharp objects, trying to keep Mother Nature away from your sensitive bits, kneeling into sharp rocks, getting pine sap stuck to your ass, swatting away a million mosquitoes, brushing against poison oak. All of those things are going to be hardcore mood killers. So consider this a vote for maybe bringing a tent or a shelter of some kind, especially as you're just sort of like exploring this side of your time outdoors. And I would say even bring along like a little battery operated fan if you've got one of those little clip fans. Get some airflow going in there. Maybe leave the vents open so you don't get condensation. And even just to create a little vibe, get some of those fairy lights that you can string up and just really set the mood. You know what I'm saying? Like brown chicken, brown cow. Even if you do opt out of a shelter, I'd bring along some sort of cushioning. So using 2 standard sleeping pads is just not going to cut it because they're just going to squirrel all over the place. You could consider something sort of double wide. Xped makes a Mega Mat Duo, which is just this big ass sleeping pad that you could either starfish on by yourself or engage in sweet, sweet love with your partner.
There's so many double entendres in everything you're saying right now that I'm just shocked that you are not just like stopping and giggling at yourself as you're saying them. Cushion and pushing,
Someone was telling me
the double wide. I mean, there's a million things here.
There's so much. There's a never ending supply of sex puns. But somebody was telling me, somebody who listens, I don't know if it was an email or just somebody I knew commented. I can't remember, but they're like, how are you not just laughing your ass off the entire time you're doing this podcast? I'm like, you don't know the amount of times that I'm like silently laughing at something Colin says, or Colin is like his whole head goes out of frame because he's laughing too hard and doesn't want to blow up the mic.
There's a lot that gets cut.
There
folks.
is. Colin
the
is
magic of editing.
You do a very good job, sir.
Thank you. It's mostly just us laughing. If you did a super cut of it, it'd be us giggling. That's all it would be.
That's going to be my year-end gift to all of you. Is just a super cut of Colin and I chortling for like 7 hours.
Gearabby chortles.
Oh man. But okay, still talking about cushion, for the pushing. You want to try, you could also try yoga mats or, closed cell foam mats, a picnic blanket. I know Eddie Bauer and LL Bean both make picnic blankets that have waterproof sides, which you may want, foam mattress topper, if that's what you got, or if you're a climber, bring a crash pad. There's a lot of options out there, but you want something. And to that thing, benefits, you also asked about potential, quote, light and creative products. So I would say first, if you want, go visit any adult shop. We'll kind of turn up a bunch of different options in this realm. You probably want to stay away from anything battery operated that's kind of loud because, I mean, maybe if you've got the
We know what you're
know
doing.
what's happening. But there's a lot of little lightweight things that you could bring along if you want to add something. But I really do think for your first times out there experimenting, keep it as simple as you can. But bring stuff like some of your standard camping equipment can be great. Bring a sit pad or two, and that's extra comfort under hands, knees, elbows, butts, wherever you're moving your stuff. If there's logs involved, ground, whatever, rocks, you want some sort of cushioning, and sit pads are so good for that. You could also just cut up a closed cell foam, like a cheap one you get from Dick's Sporting Goods or something. Camping pillows also provide great cushioning, support, and opportunities to arrange yourself at different angles. And I would recommend staying away from the inflatables for this and thinking about something that's more of a stuffed pillow. Personally, I think the Thermarest compressible pillow cinch, they may not have thought about this use case scenario, but it's a really firm, like you can change the firmness on that pillow by cinching it tighter and tighter. And it's a pretty good pillow to give you support, even just if you're sleeping. So you may want to consider it for, frisky times. A double sleeping bag or something like a rumple blanket so you guys can kind of cozy up. And a bandana. So you're talking light and creative. That bandana, as long as you haven't already used it to like blow your nose into or wipe your sweat, bandanas can do a lot for you 1,000 different ways, depending on your imagination and your partner's consent. So a bandana might be a good entry, quote, toy to bring with you outside because it's something that could also be useful if you like sprained your arm and needed to,
So then you could say, hey, I'm using my cock ring as a sling. That's what you're saying.
I'm sorry. This is not, I'm not
out.
apologizing. No, you don't have to cut that out, Colin. Okay. What did I say at the beginning of this episode? Did I not say you single-handedly help us earn the E rating? I like that you're really owning that today.
Oh, you wearing a sling? No, it's my cock ring, thanks. Just right now I'm using it as a sling, right?
I mean, we do talk about outdoor items having more than one use, so.
That's right.
Get creative out there. And finally, prepare yourselves, all of the Americans who are listening, which I think is most of you, because I'm going to name a specific body part. And I know as Americans, we're very uncomfortable with this.
Oh, no.
But benefits, and to anyone else who's listening, if there is a penis involved.
Oh, no. Leave the room, Puritans.
Puritans, go bye-bye. Consider using a condom to keep things tidy. Trust me, there's going to be a lot happening here. Try to keep cleanup as simple as possible. Bring some wipes. That bandana, when you're done with it, can pull double duty. Camp towels, all of that stuff can be helpful afterwards. And bring a little garbage bag of some sort, to toss everything into afterwards. And this would be a great use case for a bidet, which we talked about in the last episode. Oh my God.
All right.
Colin, I got to mention it. Listen, this is a prime opportunity for bidet use.
No, it really is.
It really is. You can kind of clean up a little bit afterwards. Or if you're really feeling fancy about it, bring one of those camping showers and have a little shower together afterwards, quietly off trail. But my final bit of advice, benefits, is the lightest of the light, and that is to stay lighthearted about the whole thing. Chances are it's not going to be this perfect movie magic experience that you're kind of fantasizing about. It's getting busy outside is much more likely to be awkward, at least at first. And just commit to good communication, enjoying the moment without expectation, and probably laughing a lot.
I feel like this is a better fantasy than an actual real thing, right?
It really is.
This is if the moment hits, like, holy shit, this is happening, go for it. But if you like to say like that there's something, these are, I don't know, it's a lot of, it is the fantasy. It's like having sex in a pool or something like that. And then you do it, you're like, this is terrible.
Yep, exactly.
I think you gave amazing advice. And if you're truly into it, then this is great advice. But for the most part, it's like, or wait till the night after tomorrow when you're back at the hotel. And then, like, do it twice.
Yeah, or use it as foreplay. I mean, honestly, like, share fantasies. I think it's very healthy for people to share fantasies with each other. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I did used to teach sex ed. And this was part of when I used to be a social worker. But I think that it's really important to communicate with your partner and talk about the things you're interested in. And I think it's really healthy benefits that you and your partner are even considering this. So
Sure.
even if it doesn't turn out to be this perfect thing, you're probably opening up your relationship to some new experiences, which I think is always positive.
And maybe you get lucky and you find that couple in the woods that Shawnté was talking about, and you never know where things can lead to in the backcountry.
We are so excited to welcome the official gear garage of Gearabby. That's Garage Grown Gear. Garage Grown Gear, aka GGG, that is a lot of alliteration in 2 sentences, is here to make sure all of Gearabby's outdoorsy friends can get the newest outdoor stuff that they need for their next adventure. This week, it's an all-food edition of the Gear Garage. We've got Embark Coffee Maple Energy. Freeze-dried cheddar cheese cubes by Foundation Outdoors. That sounds very delightful to me as a Wisconsinite. And Summit Smolder powdered hot sauce by Wildfire Spice Company. Oh yeah. I'm ready to make a tortilla, but also get real hype on some coffee maple energy. So it's going to be like a manic tortilla making. You know what? It doesn't matter if you're manic or chill. Garage Grown Gear and Gearabby are the perfect outdoor combo. So get shopping by heading over to garagegrowngear.com right now. Winter's unpredictably mild one week, freezing the next. I grew up in the Midwest, and every inch of snow is exciting until it melted into a soupy mess. And then to make things worse, it would refreeze on every flat surface, making walking across it impossible. Going outside became its own adventure, and that includes choosing what to wear. That's why people have trusted Fjällräven jackets for more than 50 years. Born and tested in Sweden, they're made to handle everything from everyday cold to true Arctic extremes. The philosophy's simple: build outerwear that performs, protects, and lasts. From the Keb GTX jacket to the Expedition Pack Down hoodie, you'll find something to suit the winter conditions you know are on the way for your neck of the woods. Get ready for winter and make cold optional by heading to fjällräven.com. Wow. Okay, so Colin, do you want to ask me a mom-friendly question now?
Hey, look, I just read the
It's
questions.
true.
I don't send them in.
I know,
all right?
it's true. I kind of loved when I saw that one come in. I was like, way to go, benefits. I love that they were brave enough to ask that question. So truly, thank you. I'm glad. Listen, y'all, truly send us any kind of questions. But how about
What would be the trifecta?
Well, go.
Yeah, the trifecta for Mom Abby here. You've had the biggest fears, sex in the woods. What is the next thing that she doesn't want to hear about?
Probably 90% of what I do. So just try to find the 10% here, Colin. What do you have?
All right, here we go. Dear Gearabby, I'm about to quit my job.
Hey-yo.
Long story.
Long story.
Okay. Thanks for telling us. And I don't necessarily need to start looking for another one right away. Okay. I thought that it might be fun to do a through hike while I have time. Are there any that would be doable in the winter?
Ooh.
Signed, Freedom! I added the extent.
Is it Braveheart? Did Braveheart write it?
I had to go full William Wallace.
Did that feel good? You didn't really get to shake your
It
fist
did.
yet in this episode. So
I know. We've got to find a cloud to shake my fist at.
Yeah, freedom. Well, hey, I was going to say I'm jealous. I'm not really jealous of you. Well, maybe it sounds like you're choosing to leave your job. So, okay, let's say good for you. And second,
Yeah.
I got you. This is exciting to think about spending some time on trail, some extended time. I love that. One of my favorite backpacking trips was a winter hike. It was the Backbone Trail in the Santa Monica Mountains. My friend Liz and I covered something like 72 miles and 15,000 feet of gain in maybe 3 days. We were beat afterwards. So that one's on the shorter side, and definitely not easy. But it was so peaceful out there. You don't have nearly the number of people you have in the warmer months. And here in Southern California, everything is green in the winter. We have kind of an opposite situation that a lot of people do in this country. So it was a really nice time to be out. And I would recommend that trail to anyone, but the Eastern Terminus actually burnt in the Palisades fire at the beginning of this year. So it is off limits until the landscape recovers, which is sadly probably going to take quite a bit. But in general, for winter through hikes, which are absolutely possible, you want to just focus on, this is going to be, once again, common sense coming to the party, the southernmost states. So of those, let's start in Arkansas, which features, believe it or not, one of my biggest bucket list hikes, and that is the Ozark Highlands Trail. And to be fair, I'm probably a little more interested in doing it in the fall when there's more like fall color going on. and you could do, if it maybe slightly warmer temps, but it's absolutely hikeable in the winter. The full trail isn't quite complete. They have kind of this mega vision for it, and it's going to connect to the Ozark Trail. But the original 165-mile section through the Boston Mountains has been completed since the late 80s, and it is absolutely filthy with waterfalls. So you can go check out some waterfalls. And if you like to bike, I think we've talked about this. Maybe I don't know if we've talked about it on Gear yet, but that part of Arkansas is just amazing for mountain biking as well. So if you're gonna have some extra time on your hands and you like to bike, bring your bike with you if you can store it somewhere safe, and consider biking afterwards. Just 2 states over, we're going to continue our journey through the southern U.S. We're going to just keep going east. The 350-mile Pinhoti Trail, whose name means turkey home I know, isn't that nice? It's the Muskogee phrase for turkey home. I'm just imagining like all of these little gobblers hanging out. If you've hiked this trail, can you just email me at deargearabby@gmail.com and tell me about the turkeys? Like, I feel like,
are they just everywhere?
Are they everywhere? Are they sleeping with you at night? Like, what's happening with the turkeys? Are there turkey parties? Are the turkeys getting busy? Like, we want to talk about that on this podcast. So,
well, as I say, they should listen to the previous answer if they're sleeping with you at night.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, refer them to question number 2 of this episode. But yeah, that trail is super cool because it links Flag Mountain in Alabama with the Benton MacKaye Trail in Georgia. So you probably won't want to continue on that trail afterwards because it does get snowy and you're heading out into the Appalachian Trail from there. So that's a good shoulder season, late winter into spring hike. And I promise we're going to keep going east. And that means if you want something longer, like significantly longer, and you do not mind sharing your route with giant toothy reptiles, boy, do I have something for you. That is the Florida Trail. That's right. Does this sound exciting? Just over 1,000 miles of swampland, forest, beach, and plenty of road walking and opportunities to run into Florida man. What more could you want?
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Constant.
You'll find him.
Maybe you could be part of a future Florida man headline. Maybe for a good reason, though. You could also leave the U.S., and if you're willing to, the cool thing is that our winter is New Zealand summer. Mm-hmm. So it makes winter is the time to hike the Te Araroa Trail. And the name is from the Maori language, and it translates kind of to long pathway. And that's pretty spot on because the route covers just over 1,800 miles through both the North and South Islands, which is very exciting because I've traveled to both. I don't know, Colin, have you been to New Zealand? I have
not. No, that is like number 1 on the bucket list right now.
You're a Hobbit lover. You got to get over there.
I know, seriously.
Oh man, yeah, it's beautiful. I've been to both islands. I didn't get to do a ton of hiking because I was there for work stuff, but yeah, it's gorgeous. Something I will say about the Te Araroa Trail is that while it's always good to research cultural and environmental guidelines, anywhere you choose to hike, there are some pretty specific ones in place for this trail that you want to understand and really commit to before you set out in order to best respect both the land and the Maori people and sort of, their history as you'll be walking out there. And this, just to add on here, this is a little off topic from Freedom's initial question, but it's related. Through hiking, as much as I love it, and you all know I do, is a largely self-serving pursuit. So, I mean, we are the ones who benefit the most from these hikes, but that doesn't mean we have to be the only ones. Honestly, something I wish more hikers did in general is go beyond just preparing for their own through hike on, physically, gear, whatever, and learn a little bit about the places that you're going to be traveling through. And do your best not to just passively respect, but also actively contribute to the betterment of those places and the people who live there. So this is just a tiny example, but every summer I pay what feels like a small ransom to Booz Allen Hamilton. That is the company that runs recreation.gov. So a lot of people feel like when they pay those fees, that money is going directly to whatever park. Only a small portion goes to the park. The rest of that reservation fee, and that's usually the unrefundable part. So even if you cancel, Booz Allen Hamilton, they're still getting your money. That doesn't make me feel great. And so the money's not making back into those local communities. So what I usually do is I'll donate equal or more to groups like, for the Sierra, I would do Indigenous Women Hike, Eastern Sierra Conservation Corps. Things like that. I obviously go to local owned businesses while I'm there. So instead of like frequenting a Starbucks, look at what local owned coffee shops there are, for instance. There's a lot of ways to do this. But Freedom, I'd say get out there this winter, hike your hike, let me live vicariously, but also do your best to walk the walk with your values while you're out there. And I promise you it'll deepen your experience and it's just good all around for everyone. Oh man, honestly, like now I kind of wish I was going on a long walk this winter.
You can.
I can, according to you, I can do it anywhere.
You can. You should go.
No, I think
Just bring your microphone.
I will. I'll get some good hashtag content while I'm out there. No, I think my only adventure this winter is my annual journey into seasonal affective disorder. So, well, before we get there, we have one final question for today. So we've redeemed ourselves a little bit. I think my mom is probably listening now, and she'll let me know how it's going. But
spoiler, she never stopped.
Damn it! Is she texting you right now? Or are you guys just texting each other?
Hello. She's like, I'm listening.
She's like, yeah, keep it up, Colin. Give me more to talk to her about later.
That's right.
All right. Final question. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Dear Gear Abby, how do I treat and wash my packs correctly? Everything smaller usually just goes into the washing machine, but how about the big back panels and shoulder straps of large size hiking packs? Should I be reapplying DWR? Should I iron a backpack? So many questions. Signed, Marcus.
All right, Marcus. I like this. This is just like an avalanche of questions. This is all, you're just sneaking in like 7 extra questions into your one main question. This is also honestly a very good reminder that I have not yet washed my backpack from this summer backpacking season, and it is.
Are you supposed to?
Dude, we're about to get into that.
Yeah, no,
it's nasty.
Yeah.
It's like every time, I sometimes use it when I'm weight training in the neighborhood. My friend Merrick over at Rology has been doing this thing that he called, it's just called rucking, where you just wear a very specific little vesty thing and put weights in it and feel very strong.
Yeah.
It's a military thing. But I use my backpacking backpack because that's what I have, and I just load it up with stuff. And I went to put it on, I think last week I was doing a walk, and I'm like, oh my God, what does that smell? Oh, it's my backpack.
Like, oh, it's me.
Oh, it's me. I made that. That came out of my body. Woo. So good on you, Marcus, because you are clearly less of a dirtbag than I am. But I'm going to clean mine maybe after we get done recording this. It is, Colin and Marcus, actually a great idea to clean your packs at least once a year. For me, I usually do it in late fall, so right about now when I'm done with my, bigger backpacking trips for the year. And it helps remove not just dirt, but also that sweat that's built up, grime. It helps your gear function better in general. So this goes with just about any gear that you're using a lot, especially stuff that has like zippers, for instance, your tents. But first, a warning, since you mentioned washing machines, like you want to be really, really careful about tossing even those smaller packs in. It's usually way better to just wash things by hand, and you're going to avoid damaging straps and your closures and really help any of those finishes. If there is, say, a DWR finish baked into your product, it's going to help it last a little longer if you're not chucking it into these big machines with lots of heat and movement. But you can. All right, so we'll cover that first since you asked. You can, if you want to, flirt with danger, try tossing in like fanny packs or small summit packs in, if the manufacturer does not recommend against it. So triple check that you've removed everything from the pack, that you've taken off anything that's detachable. And this goes for any of the washing things we're going to talk about. So hip belts, if they detach, pull it off. Any other attachments, make sure you've emptied out everything completely, kind of shake out. I take mine outside, just shake it out like a rug to get all of the pine needles and dirt from the outside, the inside, like out, micro trash, all that stuff. You don't want that getting into your washing machine and clogging up the works. And if you're fancy and you have one, you could use like a small handheld vacuum in there and really give it a good, you don't need to, though, just shake it out. If you're going to try to throw this or any other kind of techie piece of gear, clothing, whatever, into the wash, it's not a bad idea to toss it inside one of those mesh lingerie bags. Here you could get it at the dollar store or something like that usually. But it just will help keep everything contained, just like it would with a bra or something like that.
Also, if you're getting frisky in the woods, like we talked about earlier, maybe the backpack is your lingerie.
Oh,
who knows? Maybe that's all you have on. So
brown chicken, brown cow for sure. That is, every year, I think it's, what day is it? Is it June 21st? Is that Hike Naked Day? I think it's June
I believe
21st every
you.
summer.
That sounds right, actually.
Yeah.
It's like the first day of summer,
Yeah,
right?
it's the first day of summer. So June 21st, it's unofficially or officially in the Thru-Hiker circles, it's called Hike Naked Day. And, I just, once again, people don't always want to see your bits. So to all of it's always some leathery old guy walking around, like swinging all over the place. I've had experiences, not with them, but walking past them. You know what? I guess when you get older, they really do. You just really don't care anymore. You're like, I'm letting my freak flag and everything else fly.
Right.
But not in your washing machine, okay?
No, that could hurt.
Could hurt. You don't want to hurt your pack or your business. Just treat
Exactly.
it like it's your baby. Use a delicate soap, the gentlest of the cycles. I personally wouldn't do this, but this is my legal disclaimer. I'm not responsible for anything that happens to your shit. Okay. But I did. So I did look up because I was curious. I'm like, are there people recommending you throw your stuff in the washing machine? No. I looked up at the care recommendations from a bunch of different pack makers: Osprey, Gregory, Deuter, Fjellraven, Helly Hansen. And sorry, Marcus, they all want you to put some effort into it and just wash them by hand. The process is not difficult though. So you're going to prep your pack the same way. And then what you're going to do is if you've got a bathtub or just some other large basin, maybe one of those large metal garden tubs, whatever floats your boat or your pack, you're going to fill it with lukewarm water, very small amount of like the gentlest soap. I prefer something unscented, something like a Castile soap, like Dr. Bronner's would be perfect. Use a sponge or a washcloth, not a bristly brush, to kind of work your way around the pack. So you want to get into all those grubby little nooks and crannies, gentle around the zippers, but get in there. And I usually use a little extra soap on the straps, because my BO seems to be very aromatic.
Wow. All right. Coming clean here on the pod.
Listen, we're honest, and I'm a stinky girl. I always have been. I'm a prolific sweater. When I was at the physical therapist this morning, he had me, I really thought it was just going to be like some gentle manipulation to figure out what's wrong with my knee. He had me like doing Bulgarian split squats with weights. I was like, damn it, man.
I like this guy. All right.
But anyway, whether or not you are as stinky as I am, you want to, once he suds everything up, rinse it really well. You don't want any of that soap left on there. Hang it up somewhere to dry that is not in direct sun if you can help it. You want it to get the breeze, you want it to get some warmth, but you don't want it to be, the sun can, just like the washing machine or something, it gets really hot and you can mess up your coatings if there's, DWR or whatnot on there. But yeah, that is the power of heat on things. So you just
on plastic
things, but also your pack. You just don't, be gentle with it. You want it to last. The whole point of this is taking care of your gear. And I'd say you asked about DWR, you can also do a technical wash. So there's cleaners out there that are meant for gear. I use Nikwax, has like this great line of products, and I use that on a lot of my different gear. They've got it's called Tent and Gear Solar Wash. That's a spray on, and it cleans and it adds in some UV protection, which is great for the longevity of your gear. You can also follow it up with the solar proof spray if you want to add another layer, and that helps restore some of the weatherproofing. So some of the waterproofing, weatherproofing to the material. And how often you do all of this really depends on how often you use your pack. So I'm probably out backpacking longer than the average person. So I just do this, like I said, at the end of the season. It's part of me cleaning all my gear. But if you're a normal human being who only does a handful of trips a year, you could probably get away with restoring that weatherproofing like every few years. You don't need to be that meticulous about it. But I will say, if you need any more motivation, Marcus, I find it very satisfying, but also maybe a little disturbing to see just how disgusting the water is when I finish washing my packs in the tub. It makes me feel like I really earned it out there. There's the results of my labors.
Also, benefits from earlier. Think about that when you're getting naked with other people. That's how filthy you are.
You filthy animals. All right, that's it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions, hopefully not from your outdoor pursuits, if you know what I'm saying.
Or from your bursitis.
It doesn't burn, it just hurts. Send any questions. They don't have to be burning. They could just be a mild itch of a question. Send those questions about your relationships with outdoor products, people, places, and pastimes over to us at deargearabby@gmail.com. And I'll do my best to answer them and probably laugh a lot with Colin or find somebody else who can. And of course, head over to your podcast listening service of choice and subscribe, rate, and review to support the pod and personally make my day. And hey, follow us on Instagram at deargearabby. That is where it's all happening. If you want to see awkward reels, I'll be making them. In the meantime, today's episode was produced by David Karstad and our very own Colin Shrew. Art direction provided by the talented Sarah Gensert. I'm Shawnté Salabert, and remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.